Hi, I'm Ryan Spielman. In this video, I want to talk about jumping through and jumping back in an Ashtanga Vinyasa practice. Everybody wants to be able to jump through and jump back. It's a really fun part of the Ashtanga practice. Not too many people are able to do it. It's quite advanced. It takes a lot of core strength, upper body strength. So we're going to talk about it in 3 stages. The first stage you're probably familiar with already. Crossing your legs, rolling over the tops of your feet, hands on the floor in front of your feet, maybe even in front of your knees, and stepping or jumping back. And same thing, stage 1 to come through, step or jump onto the tops of your feet to come through to sitting. Very important not to land on the soles of your feet because you'll end up collapsing back. So if you can land on the tops of your feet, you can make the transition more smooth. That's stage 1, and most of you will be familiar with that stage already. The second stage is a little more demanding. It's going to start to build core strength, hip flexor strength, abdominal strength, upper body strength. Also, if you start to use stage 2 more and more in your practice, it will work you hard. You're going to be exhausted, but include it in as many vinyasas as you can, and you'll start to build strength over time. Stage 2, cross your legs, lift your feet off the floor, put your hands on the floor in front of your hips, not beside your hips, in front of your hips. Lean forward and do whatever you need to do to get back without moving your hands. So at some point you might get stuck, and then you're going to have to hop, hop, hop through your arms. And same thing to come through. Do whatever you need to do to get through without moving your hands. Look up at your hands, land on the tops of your feet, and hop, hop through your arms. That's stage 2. Hopping through. Now, the more you can incorporate that into your practice, the more strength you'll build, the more you'll develop this vinyasa, the jump through and the jump back. Stage 3 is the most challenging, obviously. It takes a lot of core strength and upper body strength. If you have the right proportions, it makes it easier. So I've got really long arms, which is good for giving big hugs and reaching for things. It's also good for jumping through and jumping back. But even if you've got short arms and a long torso, in theory, it should be possible. Yeah, you're going to have to work harder than I did to be able to jump back, but it's still possible. So if you've got stage 2 down, stage 3 will just happen naturally. Lift your feet off the floor. Put your hands on the floor in front of your hips, not beside your hips, in front of your hips. Lean forward and jump back. Now jumping through is easier than jumping back. So if you can get the jump through, then you can start to work on jumping back without touching the floor. But you've got to be able to come through without touching the floor first before you can jump back without touching the floor. I'm going to give you 2 ways to jump through without touching the floor, and the first is a little bit easier. It's coming through with crossed legs and straightening when you come through. And the next way, with straight legs, you want to look forward, look at your hands, look where you're going, and the best way to begin is to throw your legs through your arms. Just throw them through, something like that, until you know that you're going to make it through. Then you can start to refine the movement a little bit more. So, eventually coming through with straight legs, with control, nice and smooth. Now there's one more tool that you can use for jumping through and jumping back. A pair of yoga bricks will be very useful for many of you in the beginning when you're building up the strength to practice the feeling of jumping through and jumping back. So you're going to put the bricks under your hands, and you want to grip them so that your thumb and your little finger are hugging the sides, not in front, but around the sides. And they go just under your hands. Pick your feet up off the floor, and if you're working on stage 2, hop, hop, hop. The bricks are not great for upward dog, downward dog. You also want to make sure that they're gripped onto the mat. If it's on a slidey floor, you could hurt yourself. And coming through, you want to be careful not to hit your foot on the brick. So hop, hop, hop through. And also with the bricks, for some of you, if you're close to jumping through with straight legs, the bricks are going to help you a lot. So there you have it. I hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much. Good luck, and let me know how it goes.